Hey guys. So let me ask you something real quick. Have you ever watched someone's entire digital existence just evaporate? Like one day they are all over your timeline, dropping pictures, sharing stories, engaging with fans, and then boom, radio silence. Complete ghost mode. That's exactly what happened with Sonia and Maurice, and honestly, the internet has been spiraling ever since. We're talking full conspiracy theory mode, folks. People are out here analyzing old posts like forensic scientists, zooming into background reflections, checking who liked what 3 months ago. It's gotten wild. But here's the thing nobody expected. This whole disappearing act isn't an accident, a breakup, or some dramatic fallout. It's actually way more intentional than anyone realized, and when you hear what's really going on, you're going to understand why they did it. These two didn't just log off casually because they were tired of notifications or wanted a little digital detox weekend. No. This was a full-on strategic exit. They coordinated this thing like they were planning a heist in a Netflix thriller. You know how in those movies, the characters turn off their phones, ditch their cars, and meet at some random location nobody knows about. Yeah, it's giving that energy. And the reason behind it. They are planning a Christmas vacation so secretive, so carefully guarded, that when the holiday actually rolls around, they won't have to deal with a single phone call, a single interruption, or a single person asking where they are or what they are doing. They want pure, unfiltered peace. And honestly, can you blame them? If you had thousands of people watching your every move, dissecting every smile, every glance, every comment, wouldn't you want to disappear too? Now, before you start thinking this is just another celebrity vacation where they pretend to go off the grid but still post aesthetic sunset photos with captions like, "Finding myself," let me stop you right there. This trip is different. This is the kind of getaway where even their closest friends don't know the exact location. No accidental Instagram geotags. No familiar landmarks in the background. No influencer friends randomly showing up because they happen to be in the area. This is locked down tighter than a presidential security briefing. Maurice, who apparently took the lead on planning this whole thing, made sure that nobody, and I mean nobody, would be popping up unannounced. No industry colleagues. No well-meaning friends trying to check in. No surprise visits. Just silence, space, and the kind of privacy most celebrities can only dream about. And look, I get why they felt like they needed to do this. The pressure these two have been under is absolutely insane. Ever since fans started noticing their undeniable chemistry on screen, the internet has basically turned their entire relationship into a full-blown reality show without their permission. Every picture together gets analyzed. Every comment gets screenshot. Every public appearance gets dissected like it's the Zapruder film. People have theories about whether they are dating, secretly married, just really good friends, co-stars with benefits, planning a joint business venture, or involved in some elaborate PR stunt. The speculation never stops. It's exhausting just watching it from the outside, so can you even begin to process what it must feel like to actually live through it? Every single day, waking up to rumors, assumptions, hot takes, and strangers on the internet thinking they know your life better than you do. Maurice clearly reached a breaking point with all the noise because he took charge and organized this entire escape plan himself. And when I say he planned it, I mean he planned it. We are talking about blocking off dates, choosing a destination so off the radar it might as well be in another dimension, and making sure that absolutely nobody could accidentally stumble into their vacation. He didn't want any, "oh my gosh, what a coincidence running into you here," moments. He didn't want any awkward run-ins with people from the industry. He wanted a clean break from everything and everyone, and he made sure that's exactly what they'd get. Because here's the truth, sometimes you don't just need a vacation from work. You need a vacation from the version of yourself that everyone expects you to be. You need space to breathe, think, and exist without performing for an audience. The whole goal behind this trip is refreshingly simple: rest, genuine connection, and the kind of deep conversations that are impossible to have when the entire world is watching and waiting for you to slip up. This is the kind of vacation where you wake up at noon if you feel like it, where you spend hours talking about life without worrying about who might be listening, where you laugh freely without wondering if someone's recording, and where you finally get to just be without the constant weight of public opinion pressing down on your shoulders. It's about reclaiming a sense of normalcy in lives that have become anything but normal. And honestly, in an industry that demands so much from you, your time, your energy, your emotions, your privacy, taking back control like this is not just smart. It's necessary. Sonia, who always comes across as this calm, composed, put-together force of nature, needed this escape more than most people probably realize. She's the type who handles pressure with grace, who smiles through the chaos, who never lets anyone see her sweat. But even the strongest people get tired. Even the most composed people need a moment to fall apart and put themselves back together without an audience watching. And the fact that she said yes to this trip, that she agreed to completely disconnect and step away from everything, tells you just how much she needed it. Because let's be real, saying no to the noise, to the expectations, to the constant demand for your presence and your energy, takes courage. It takes strength to choose yourself when everyone else wants a piece of you. Maurice, on the other hand, has his own reasons for wanting this time away, and they go deeper than just escaping the madness of social media. He wants clarity. He wants to understand where they stand, what they are building together, and what the future might actually look like without all the external noise clouding his judgment. When you're constantly surrounded by opinions, assumptions, and projections from other people, it becomes almost impossible to hear your own thoughts. You start second-guessing everything. You start performing instead of just living. And Maurice clearly reached a point where he needed to step back, take a breath, and figure things out in a space where nobody else's voice could drown out his own. Now, I have to mention Paul because she's part of this whole dynamic, and at first, she might have felt a little left out. You know that feeling when your closest friends suddenly make plans without you and you're sitting there like, wait, what about me? Yeah, she probably felt that. But here's the beautiful thing about real friendship. Real friends understand when you need space. They don't take it personally. They don't make it about themselves. They respect your boundaries and trust that the love is still there even when the distance is. Pearl gets it. She understands that sometimes two people need to figure things out on their own, and she's secure enough in her friendships to give them that space. In an industry where jealousy and drama run rampant, that kind of mature understanding is genuinely rare and honestly beautiful to see. Meanwhile, back in the real world, fans have completely lost their minds trying to figure out what's going on. Social media has turned into a full-blown investigation unit. People are pulling up old interviews, analyzing body language from red carpet events 6 months ago, comparing who follows who on Instagram, checking when each of them was last active online, and creating elaborate theories that honestly deserve their own Netflix documentary. Some fans are convinced this is a romantic getaway, that they finally stopped pretending and admitted their feelings. Others think it's a business retreat where they are planning their next big project together. Some believe they are about to drop a major announcement, maybe a joint production company, maybe a collaboration, maybe something even bigger. And then there's the dramatic corner of the internet that's convinced they've had a massive falling out and this silence means they're never speaking again. The theories are endless, contradictory, and absolutely hilarious if you take a step back and just observe the chaos. But underneath all the speculation, all the memes, all the dramatic Reddit threads and Twitter rants, there's actually something really important happening here. What Sonia and Maurice are doing is sending a powerful message. Whether they intended to or not, celebrities are human beings who deserve privacy, boundaries, and the right to exist outside of public consumption. They're not characters in a show that you can pause and analyze whenever you want. They're real people with real emotions, real needs, and real limits. And choosing to disconnect, especially during the Christmas season when everyone expects you to be extra visible, extra grateful, extra accessible, is actually a radical act of self-preservation. It's them saying, we matter more than your theories. Our mental health matters more than your entertainment. Our peace matters more than your curiosity. This whole situation also highlights something we don't talk about enough, the emotional toll of being constantly visible. Most of us can't even begin to comprehend what it's like to have thousands of strangers analyzing your every move, forming opinions about your life based on 2-second clips and carefully curated photos. We complain when our family group chat gets too noisy, but these people have millions of people in their metaphorical group chat, and nobody ever stops talking. Nobody ever stops watching. Nobody ever stops judging. The pressure to always be on, to always be perfect, to always be available is crushing. And the fact that Sonia and Maurice recognized that pressure and actively chose to step away from it shows a level of self-awareness and self-respect that honestly deserves applause. There's also something beautifully rebellious about what they are doing. In a world that demands constant content, constant updates, constant access to people's lives, they are saying no. They are reclaiming their time. They are choosing real life over digital performance. They are prioritizing genuine connection over curated content. And in an age where so many people feel like they don't exist unless they are posting about it, that kind of boundary setting is genuinely countercultural. It's a reminder that your value doesn't come from how many likes you get, how many followers you have, or how often you update your story. Your value comes from within, from the relationships you nurture, from the peace you cultivate, from the version of yourself you become when nobody's watching. And let's talk about the timing for a second, because choosing to do this right before Christmas is actually genius. Christmas is supposed to be about rest, reflection, family, and joy, but for people in the public eye, it often turns into just another performance. Another photo shoot. Another round of interviews. Another opportunity for people to demand your time and energy. By planning this vacation in advance and going completely silent beforehand, Sonia and Maurice are ensuring that when Christmas actually arrives, they get to experience it the way it's meant to be experienced, peacefully, privately, and on their own terms. No explanations owed. No expectations to meet. No pressure to perform. Just pure, uninterrupted presence. The secrecy surrounding this trip also speaks volumes about how much they value this time together. When something matters to you, you protect it. You don't broadcast it. You don't invite the world to comment on it. You guard it carefully because you know how rare and precious it is. And that's exactly what they are doing. They are protecting this space, this time, this opportunity to connect away from the madness. And honestly, that tells you everything you need to know about how important this is to them. Important things deserve protection. Important people deserve privacy. Important moments deserve to unfold without an audience. Now, I know some people are going to say, but they are celebrities. They signed up for this. They don't get to complain about attention. And to those people, I'd say, being a public figure doesn't mean you forfeit your humanity. It doesn't mean you stop needing rest, boundaries, or private moments. It doesn't mean every aspect of your life becomes public property. And frankly, that attitude, that celebrities owe us access to every corner of their existence, is exactly why so many of them end up burnt out, exhausted, and struggling with mental health. We need to do better. We need to recognize that the people we admire on screen are still people, and people need space to breathe. What's also fascinating is how this whole situation has revealed so much about us as an audience. The way we've reacted to their silence, the theories we've created, the narratives we've built, it all says more about us than it does about them. We are so used to having constant access to celebrities' lives that when that access gets cut off, we panic. We scramble for explanations. We fill in the gaps with our own stories. And maybe that's a sign that we need to examine our own relationship with celebrity culture and ask ourselves why we feel so entitled to other people's private lives. So here's where we are. Sonia Uche and Maurice Sam are somewhere out there, living their best lives, completely unbothered by all the chaos they left behind on the internet. And honestly, good for them ***, whether they come back recharged and glowing, whether they drop some major announcement, whether they never address any of this at all, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that they chose themselves. They chose peace. They chose to protect their mental health and their relationship, whatever that relationship is, overfeeding into the endless cycle of speculation and performance. And when they do eventually return to social media, whenever that is, you already know the internet is going to absolutely lose its mind. The comments will be flooded. The theories will multiply. Everyone will be analyzing every word, every photo, every detail. But maybe, just maybe, we can all take a breath and remember that they are human beings who deserve this break, who needed this peace, and who don't owe us explanations for taking care of themselves. Now it's your turn. What do you think is really going on? Are you team romantic getaway, team, business retreat, or team, they just needed a freaking break from all of us? Drop your theories in the comments below because I know you have them. And if you're watching this, let me remind you that hitting that subscribe button and smashing that notification bell takes literally 2 seconds but helps this channel massively. Share this video with your friends who've been following this story because trust me, they need to hear this perspective. And most importantly, let's normalize celebrities taking breaks, setting boundaries, and choosing their peace over our entertainment. Because at the end of the day, we all deserve that kind of respect, famous or not.